Hey, y'all, what's going on? Listen, I usually do Love and Marriage DC on Sundays, but this weekend I was pretty busy. The weekend that just passed. I don't know what my schedule is like going to be like this weekend coming up, but this was my first opportunity to get to do DC. I hope y'all watch the reunion, and I hope y'all hanging in there with me. We're gonna get into this reunion part one. I will say this before this reunion. I was 100% Team Winter. Once I saw the reunion, I'm like, oh my God, Winter has some explaining to do, okay? Winter got to talk to us. We need to know. And so far, I want to remind y'all, I am still scheduled to have Winter come on the show August the 8th, I want to say. So she got a lot of talking to do. She got some explaining to do, right? But let's open this thing up with the reunion. First of all, I will say this. Carlos King is messy, okay? He's messy, Boots, 100%. And I think as a host, he got to learn how to be a little bit more neutral or appear and make it seem like he's being neutral. I see y'all out there. Hey, thanks for coming through. Yes, I love y'all. Don't forget, hit that like button as you're coming in the building or hit it when you're leaving out the building, but just make sure you hit it, okay? So Carlos King has to learn how to be a little bit more neutral, right? I don't think he knows how to be neutral. He's messy, and you can clearly see that he was not on Winter's side. So everybody was against Winter at this reunion, right? It was like Winter, she brought a storm, but they gave her back a tsunami because they was there to come at her neck. So let's talk about it, right? So when Carlos King arrives, he's initially just going to the fitting rooms to see everybody. And listen, I'm going to say this. I got my issues with Monique, but hands down, 100%. Monique is absolutely beautiful. Her skin is flawless. I believe she said she did her own hair. If she's doing her own hair, she's doing an amazing job. I did like, matter of fact, I loved her reunion look. It fit her perfectly. She looked like a queen. I can't say much more about Monique with that reunion look. To me, Monique and Chris was number one with their reunion look. You let me know in the chat what your thoughts are. Came in second was Erana and Jamie, and then last was Ashley and Quicksilver. Okay, Quicksilver's suit was not reunion material, right? Quicksilver's suit was just like, all right, we're going to church material. But the rest of the couples, they brought it, okay? Yes, I love Monique's reunion look. She's gorgeous. We got to give that to her, right? She's absolutely gorgeous, and she looked flawless. She pulled off that reunion look perfectly, okay? Monique is used to reunions, so she knew how to bring it. Yeah, she could be used to reunions. You are right, Sebastian. She did. But the other ladies, they had an opportunity. Now, if you get an opportunity to go on a reunion, go on a reality show, for you to be naive about it, that's going to be shame on you, because you can sit down before actually going on the show. Now, listen, you're not going to know how to react until you're in it, right? But you know that you're going to need some outfits. You know that you're probably going to have to host a dinner or something. So you need to be prepared. And you know, at the reunion show, you bring the best outfit that you have, or you buy one. Okay. So you need to be prepared if you're signing up for a reality show to come looking amazing at the reunion. Everyone looked great. but I didn't like Arena's hair. Arena's hair didn't fit her. You are correct, Robin. I wasn't in love with her hair, and I wasn't 100% in love with her dress with the shoulders and the whatever, but it looked good on her. And I liked Ashley's dress, but if I put the couples together, definitely Monique and Chris was number one. And then, like I said, Erana and Jamie was number two for a whole couple look together. And then Ashley and Quicksilver, they definitely came in last for me. Oh, Candy, I thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you coming through. Right. So that was the looks there, right? And now here's what's interesting. When Carlos went to the fitting rooms, the dressing rooms, right? And he spoke to Monique. Monique set the stage, and that's when I knew this was not going to be good for Winter. She told Carlos King, listen, I don't know where Winter's getting this from on the show that me and her were friends. Just because you know somebody for 15 years doesn't mean that you're friends. She said Winter only called her when it was time to talk about the show or the contract. And pretty much she threw Winter under the bus yet again. So I was like, okay, Winter, this is going to be a whole problem for you, right? So that's what Monique said when Carlos King went to her fitting room. Now, this was also interesting to me. So Ashley got a super big head after doing this show. And to be quite honest with you, Ashley would have never had a show if it wasn't for Winter. So she should be saying thank you to Winter. Leon Shaw, you said Ashley dress was fab. Love the yellow. Quick dress wasn't up to power. Yeah. So Quicksilver, yeah, Quicksilver wasn't. He didn't really come bring it. I mean, he had on a regular suit that you're gonna wear to church, right? So when they Carlos King went to Ashley and Quick's fitting room, he said that Ashley was the star. Okay, he felt like Ashley was the breakout star of Love and Marriage DC, and pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, guys, if it wasn't for Ashley, there wouldn't have been a show. Now, let me tell you, did Ashley give us reality TV? 100% she did. Is Ashley or was Ashley the star of the show? I mean, that's debatable. Y'all can chat with me in the comments and let me know if you felt like Ashley was the star of the show. And I will also, let me just throw the link out there again. I threw it out there, but I will put it out there again for everybody, just in case someone wants to come up and kind of chat with me. We'll put that link out there. So when he came to the room, he said, Ashley was the star of the show, and Ashley pretty much agreed. So her head is super blown up on because of all of her notoriety as a result of being on Love and Marriage DC. Is it warranted? I don't know. And listen, from the way they came at Winter on this show, it doesn't seem like Winter is going to be on a season 2. They have a season 2, and I guarantee you this: I don't know what Love and Marriage DC would look like if Winter wasn't there for them to pick on her, but we shall see. And so now he went and he visited Winter in her fitting room, right, in her dressing room. And he pretty much, Leon Shaw, you said Ashley was the star of the show. I like Jamie's jacket. Yeah, Jamie did pull that jacket off. Okay, you said Ashley was the star of the show. Okay, Lee. All right. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Miss G, you felt bad for Winter. I felt bad for Winter, and we're gonna get to that. But Winter brought a lot of this on herself. And listen, the whole entire season, I was Team Winter, right? And I felt like they was blowing things up and they was really coming for her. But at this reunion, what we saw so far, Winter brought a lot of it on herself. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. It was sad when a friend is carrying the show more than the main cast. Come on, Just Simply. I'm trying to tell you, if the friend wasn't there, they wouldn't have had a show. Yes, Winter did from what I seen. Yeah, Winter messed up, but I like her. Winter is the star. I'm trying to tell you, okay? They all kind of played their little role to help this show go along this season. And it wasn't a breakout, it wasn't like this really big season for them to be a breakout show. So when he goes to see Winter, Winter was grateful for being a friend to the show, right? Now, Winter, she's also a beautiful woman, but I don't think that dress complimented her. And I also don't think the hairstyle really did her any favors either. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments. But I was like, okay, I've seen Winter look better. So where, whoever her stylist was that did the hair for that day and who picked out that dress, it wasn't her best fashion moment. I think they could have done better, but that's the way I saw it, right? So now and she said she's here for it. She's ready for any questions. She was ready for the cast, but I don't really think she was. But we're gonna get there, right? So with Jamie and Erana, he pretty much asked Jamie, is he going to answer all the questions that he's being asked? And Jamie said he was ready. So now we're going to get into it, right? So I told you who I like the best, and let's see. So here's the thing with Monique, right? Let's get into this with Monique. I'm convinced that Monique is absolutely delusional as to how she comes across on TV, right? So Monique thinks that her behavior is really not problematic. As a matter of fact, she knows how to deflect. I think I'm going to put Monique on the list of one of the top gaslighters, right? She knows how to gaslight us, right? So she pretty much was saying that, people got a problem with her, and they have a problem with the fact that, the way that she expressed herself to Chris. And she said, listen, what I said was fine, but maybe my delivery was a little off. And I'm going to say this, Monique, what you said in your delivery to me was off. But Chris, the doting husband, the one that's going to stand by Monique no matter what she does, Chris again took the blame. He took all the heat. He was like, listen, the show was an eye opener for me. It showed me all the things that Monique was trying to tell me. When I look back on it, I saw all the things I was doing wrong, and it's going to make me a better man and a better husband. So he said, so that on season 2, Monique won't have anything to complain about. Well, Chris, let me help you out, Chris. It don't matter what you correct, what you fix, what you analyze on season 1. I will willing to bet my last dollar that on season 2, Monique will still have something to complain about that you are not doing correctly, right? And Monique also gave us insight. She said that her and Chris were not talking when they began to start filming for Love and Marriage DC. But she also said that, not talking to your spouse and you're trying to film a reality show is not going to work. So, it's kind of like, she had no choice for them, but for them to kind of talk. Monique probably talks to Chris like this all the time, not just on the show. Miss G, absolutely she does. And I think it's probably even worse when the cameras are not on. I can't even defend Monique anymore. I'm trying to tell you, how could you? She's delusional. She's absolutely delusional. And I think Monique is missing out on an amazing opportunity because aesthetically, absolutely beautiful. Like I said, her skin is flawless. It shines through the TV. She and she's into the fitness thing, right? Monique could be in that $1 billion industry, really making money if she turns her focus around. And sometimes I don't care how good your product that's going to buy your product is not buying into you and your personality, they will not buy your product. And when now we have so many options on buying products that we don't have to buy a product from someone we don't like. So Monique is missing out on a big opportunity. If you ask me, Monique got on my nerves at the reunion. She took no accountability. She takes zero accountability, okay? And she doesn't have to, because guess what? Chris is going to take all the heat. He doesn't care. Just simply, you are right. Save Chris. Hashtag save Chris, right? I like Monique, but she has really disappointed me. She is a big disappointment. And here's the thing, they say you can't fix a thing if you don't even realize that a thing is wrong. Monique doesn't realize the error of her ways. And everybody at that reunion was kind of looking at her and not saying anything. It was almost like, yeah, Monique, you're right. This is how it is, right? So she felt that men are protected. It's like men, if a wife talks to their husband wrong, people are looking at the wife like, why are you talking to your husband like that? But Monique, I don't think it's just it's the way you degrade him. It's everything. It's the whole overall way that you treat Chris. It's not isolated motives. Beauty is skin deep. Yeah, it is. Because I think internally, she doesn't show us, that beauty. Monique never takes accountability. No, she does not. I hate seeing Chris so defeated all the time. I do too. I really don't like it. And I'm like, if we're going to have an opportunity to see marriages on TV, and ironically, right, the title is Love in Marriage, DC. I mean, where's the love? Like, really, you always going to correct your spouse on the screen, and they're trying to say they're giving us reality. Well, you know what? Take some of the reality out of it if that's truly the way that you treat your husband, because I don't want to see it. Let me see. Somebody said Monique matched Carlos King in that purple, not Chris. um, Chris' mother is so mad at the way Monique complains about her son. Monique is self-absorbed. She definitely is self-absorbed. And if Chris was my son, I would be crying every night and begging God, like, fix it. Fix it. I don't like how Chris took all the blame on. He always does that. Yes, Mary, it was hard to watch. Monique should have at least interrupted and said some of his good qualities. She never does. I think Monique is so self-absorbed, like everyone is saying, that she doesn't think anything that comes out her mouth is sideways. She's beautiful, but not in the inside. I agree. She's not showing us at all any of her beauty in terms of the way that she deals with her husband, right? So now, so I wasn't shocked that, Chris took all the blame. It is what it is. So Ashley, of course, her husband Quick got her head all blown up. And so their scene, their little chat was really interesting, because I think this happens to a lot of men. So Quick pretty much said that growing up, he wasn't really allowed the opportunity to show his emotions, right? And I think very old school, a lot of men are taught, when they're being raised up, like, don't cry, they like, get up, you're okay, don't worry about it. A man is not supposed to show his emotion in tears. And Ashley and Quick is a perfect example of how, when a young boy is not perhaps able to show his emotional side growing up, the impact it can have when he gets in a relationship and gets in a marriage, right? So Ashley is pretty much saying, and to me, I don't think this is far-fetched from a lot of couples, right? Ashley is pretty much saying, listen, I got with Quick when I was young. I kind of lost myself. I kind of lost who I was, Ashley, right? In order to become, the wife and the mother to our children and all of that. Miss Gigi, don't worry about it. Late again, no notification, but I'm here. Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Can't say enough. So disappointed in Monique. She's not a girl's girl at all. Feel even more sorry for Chris. I know. I really feel that way, Miss Gigi. And I don't know, everybody, like all the content creators are like, complaining how YouTube doesn't send out the notification. They tell us to tell people to hit the notification bell, but then people be like, well, I didn't get the notification. It's crazy. But I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you're here. So, Quick, I do like the way that Quick is able to, well, in this situation, okay, how he's able to explain, and he's open about telling his emotions, growing up. And he had a lot of trauma in his life growing up, right? Both his parents, if I'm remembering correctly, they died when, he was at an early age for him. He didn't even get to express his emotions when his mother passed away. And so Ashley kind of helped him with his emotional side, and she kind of helped them grow up. But when couples come together, I don't think there's any couple in this world where both of them come like 100% together. You're fortunate if you meet somebody and that person gives you a little something to help you grow, and you can give that person a little something to help them grow. And I also think that 9 times out of 10, and it has nothing to do with whether your spouse is good, bad, or indifferent. I think 9 times out of 10, the woman in the household is the one who nurtures and cares for the kids, and always have to make sure the kids get to school, so forth and so on. And the men, they kind of fit in where they fit in, right? So Ashley was kind of pretty much talking about, and I'm not saying this right, I'm just saying I think it happens, right? I understand quick. My dad was like that. He was born in the 30s. Yeah, I think a lot of men are like that, right? Especially when raising their son. It's like, you got to man up. You got to toughen up. You're going to be the head of the household. You're going to have to, when you go out there in the world, you got to be able to take these things that are going to happen to you. And it's like a hard balance of allowing them to be emotional too. And, just as emotional maybe as you will allow your daughters to be. So yes. Hey Paula, I'm glad you're here. So, quick, he opened up about that. I appreciated it. But Ashley once again wants to tell how she felt like she married too young. She felt like she, gave up on herself. She lost herself in the marriage. And she also talked about, which is a big deal, how, at that time, that's where she believes her depression kind of kicked in. I really do wish that this book that she wrote, and I did not get the book. I don't know. I'm debating on whether I'm going to get it or not. I have to see how much it is. But hopefully in this book, she talks more about that, like how she got through that and, overcame or dealt with, so to speak, the depression. And the fact that, as a mom and a mother, especially because of the career that her husband has, she had to put herself in the back seat, raise the family, and let her husband soar. And then, later on, here she is now, she's able to, do what she wants to do. I can relate. You say you can relate to Ashley. You know what, sorry? I believe a lot of people can probably relate to Ashley, right? But I think what happens is you got to find a balance of when you decide that, okay, now it's my turn. Now I'm going to step out. You should, try not to be so resentful, because at the time too, you kind of signed up for it and you was in it. So I don't know. Like, I think, now she went from 0 to 100 really quickly. But Ashley is Ashley. Men back in the day were not in touch with their feelings, and were there to show them. Some men still believe that way, but glad times are changing. Yes, times are definitely changing. Thank you, Sharita. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, times are definitely changing, and I'm glad that they're on the show speaking about it, right? And it's the moments like these that I love, because I think these moments is what kind of help people, grow. This is what we look for. All the drama, sometimes you're like, okay, it's, we know that's what's probably needed to keep a show going and for a show to get another season. But I really love when they share moments like this, because I think it's real, and I think real people can connect to it, and I think it can help someone, right? So Quick talked about that. Ashley talked about how she felt with the marriage, and that was that. So then we get to Erana and Jamie. Listen, Jamie is another one. I mean, I think Jamie is, I'm gonna use the word typical for lack of a better word, right? Jamie is like that typical male, like, listen, I run this household, I do well for our family. He mentioned, Nettie, thank you so much for the super stick. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. So I think Jamie is the type of person, like, listen, I run the household, I pay the bills, you live a good life. What is your problem? So they really try to paint Jamie as being controlling. Carlos King asked him, was he abusive to Erana? And I think the rest of the couples were trying to, allude to Jamie as a little aggressive, so to speak. And it was pissing him off, right? It was pissing him off. And I was kind of feeling a little festivity with him. Ms. D said, why does Winter feel she can speak on everyone else, but no one can speak on her exes? Child, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to Winter. And I'm going to tell you, Ms. D, that was my problem I had with Winter, because the whole season I was definitely team Winter. But at that reunion, I was waving away from her, because I think she they called her a hypocrite. And I did see some hypocrite ways. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna drop the link again, guys. So if anybody wants to come up and chat, you can. But let me just drop the link there. So I have the link. Let me just try to start it. So I put the link in there, right? Okay. So they go to Jamie and Erana, who we got to give it up. All couples go through things, but they have stuck together for 26 years, right? And here's the comment that kind of poked me in the side, that he said he made Erana. And I'm like, whoa, 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 but you know what? Maybe Jamie just used the wrong words, right? He said he made Erana. He said when he met Erana, she was in credit card debt. And he paid off all her bills. That's commendable. That's nice, guys. Jamie is a control freak, and I think the wife and the children all have a healthy dose of fear of him. Do you? He's emotionally unavailable. Okay, Miss Gigi, I didn't catch that. Okay, I got it. All right. Wait, some other people. Jamie is controlling. Also, he is a policeman, and they are not taught to be soft. I hope part 2 will show Jamie's softer side. All right, Lee Armstrong, I didn't know. Okay. Somebody says Stockholm syndrome. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I wasn't okay. Y'all giving me a little different thought about Jamie. Sorry. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. I don't like the way Quick came for Winter. He should have left that to Ashley. That we're gonna talk about that. I didn't like it either. We're gonna talk about that. He tried to clean it up by saying he was talking about Winter's man that allegedly gave her this information. But I don't really feel that way. But we're gonna get there, right? So Jamie, they asked Jamie about being controlling, about being a little abusive. Now, we got to give it to Jamie. If you got with Erana and she was in debt and you helped pay off this debt, we got to give some credit for that, right? Two people that get together that don't know how to manage money can be very problematic. And we kind of see that on Married to Medicine with Toya and Dr. Eugene, right? So it seems like that Jamie, he has his financial situation in order. He knows how to deal with the money. And when he got with Erana, remember, because Arana's first daughter, and I love the way that, listen, they're like, we got 3 children, but Arana's first daughter is by someone else. So he got with her. He treats her daughter as if the daughter is his own daughter, and he got her whole financial life in order. Do I think he is controlling? Yes. Do I think he's abusive to her? I'm not getting that from him. I'm just getting him as like, listen, if I tell you to be quiet, be quiet. If I tell you don't speak about something, don't speak about something. If I tell you don't buy the purse, don't buy the purse. That's what I'm getting from Jamie. Now, what I didn't like either was when Jamie and Erana was kind of telling their side of the story, Ashley and Quick gonna jump in and pretty much I'm Quick gonna say, I would never correct my wife in front of anybody. Listen, Quick, Silva, stop it, okay? Now you and Ashley are the poster children for a couple, for how couples should respond. Listen, he's human. They had a situation. He ran his mouth. I think Jamie is very old school. Yes, I do too. And is very manly man. He is just not that involved emotionally. Okay, so do you think that he is just not that involved emotionally? Or do you think that he just, again, doesn't know how to show his emotions the way we would like him to show his emotions? Meant to say Chris told Quick not to talk to Winter disrespectfully. Miss G, didn't he though? And see, what happened was Chris knows this reality TV thing. And remember when Chris and Monique did their last reunion on Potomac, how they was trying to act as if Chris was going to beat Giselle up. So he wanted to say Quick from, you know, the potential backlash that he was going to get as a result of talking to Winter that way. So yes, Miss G, I did catch that. How are you? I added you to the stream. How are you? Oh, dropped off. Okay. I'm getting abusive. Okay, so you're getting abusive from him. Okay, I wasn't getting that. He meant what he said about making Erana. He did. I caught that. He's just that type of guy who needs all the praise for what he does for you and throws it back up in your face later. Okay, so you know what he is. Okay, okay, that's what I'm gonna say. He's abusive verbally. Okay, yes. Yes, Chris was looking out for him. Chris was definitely looking out for Quicksilver. Okay, so Michelle said Erana, Monique, Winter, Chris, Quick, and Jamie in that order. Okay, are you talking about what I first talked about, the outfits? Okay, okay, all right. Yes, Chris did good when it came to Quick. Quick has to control his emotions. Quick definitely has to control his emotions. And I think the problem with Quick was, here's the thing. I was trying to think to myself, if someone's lying on me, I know I'm going to get mad. But I said to myself, would I get that mad? Quick had a lot of emotions. And Ashley, they were over the top. Hey, how are you?
Hi there. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So far, what I went over, what would you like to chime in about?
I just wanted to chime in real quick about Jamie and Erana.
Okay.
I feel like Jamie is verbally abusive. He is controlling. And although a lot of people don't recognize that there's more than just physical abuse, there's emotional abuse and there's verbal abuse. I feel like he's kind of borderline guilty of both of those. And then I
Okay.
also want to just point out real quick, and then I'll let you go. I just wanted to point out too, if your viewers caught the fact that Erana talked about how she grew up in the same kind of household. So people that have been conditioned to put up with abuse growing up oftentimes fall into the same pattern in their adult life.
Mm. Okay, so did she say that the reunion, or she had said it in one of the shows?
She talked about it, I think, in both a previous episode, and it was brought up in the reunion also when they talked about her childhood. It was it was the episode where she talked about how she didn't want their son to go to prison. How at 7 her own father went to prison, and she
Yeah.
said, and remember that. So she said that her father, her biological father, verbally and physically abused her mother, his wife.
Yeah, I do remember that scene now. Veronica said Arena looked so beautiful, but
Yeah.
she looked so sad and unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
She did look sad. But she was protecting Jamie. Um, I guess we gotta keep our eye on this situation. Yeah,
Absolutely.
she did look sad, but she also looked like, I felt like she felt this was her opportunity to speak up and kind of say, save me. I was getting a little bit of that too. I was like, okay, I'm trying to feel the vibe that Arena is trying to put out. And I was getting mixed emotions because she was protecting him, but she was kind of speaking out at the same time too.
Absolutely. That's what I felt too. So that's very perceptive of you. Did you notice though too that when the other women were talking about various like when Monique was talking about being able to talk to her about her husband and about the things that she didn't like. Did you see the sad look when the camera zoomed over to Erana? Did you see the sad look on her face? Because she can never talk anything about her husband. She can never just simply say to him, I'm dissatisfied with this or I'm dissatisfied with that. It's clear that he doesn't take any type of critique at all.
Yeah, he's okay, y'all. Y'all making me change my mind. He's controlling. He's controlling. E, you have into the building. What would you like to say?
Hi, Diva. Hi, Chat. First of all, Irena needs to leave Jamie. I'm not giving Irena any sympathy. First of all, the way that he treats those boys, that oldest son, how he's so emotionally withdrawn from him. And even the way that he treats the younger one with the disability and how forceful he is and how he doesn't listen. Jamie is not emotionally intelligent. I do believe that he is a bully. I think that Erana she strikes me as the type of woman who enjoys pain. And if you like it, I love it. Because when she said, and I just joined Diva, so I don't know if you covered this already, but when she said, he made me the woman I am today, I almost threw up in my mouth. Like, what the hell is that? Like, come on, what, God had no influence over you? Your mother and your father weren't? I mean, come, this man is solely responsible for the woman you are today. Diva, that is sad. She's crying out for help.
Yeah, that I'm not gonna lie to you. When he said that, that rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, if you want to say, I get it, you helped her financially, right? But he said literally the person you're seeing right now, that's me. I did that. And
That's
and and, and when Carlos asked her, well, do you agree? And she said, well, yeah, I do.
That's
their
I
fault. She's brainwashed. And then I want to go back to because they need Winter on this show because really all of them are boring. Monique, she didn't bring me anything this season, and I'm tired of her and Chris. They're so lackluster. But we needed Winter to rile Ashley up because that's when I like Ashley the most. However, Ashley's husband don't like him. I believe what Winter said 10,000%. Quick is a cheater. I believe that Jamie is a cheater. I believe Ashley knows the women, and hopefully we'll see them if there's a season 2. I love to see these thoughts come out of the woodwork. Where are the Arians at? Yes, bring them out. I believe every single word. And I do think Quick is aggressive also. Now, even if Winter is lying, the setup of love and marriage is similar to the housewives. The husband should just sit there, and when the women are going at it, let the women do their thing. Quick intervening and throwing out that B word, even though he said he was not talking to Winter, just the fact that it can appear differently. Luckily, the editing, they didn't cut that out to make it look worse than what it was, or I don't know, maybe there were more worse things said. But Quick did himself no service. I mean, he didn't do himself any justice by saying that as he's supposed to be a DJ within the community. You're supposed to have this morning show. As a woman, I wouldn't want to listen to it, and I wouldn't want my child to listen to it. I felt it was disgraceful.
It was very disgraceful, and we could get to that really quickly. We can move to that scene when
Oh, I'm
Winter
sorry, I didn't mean to
enters.
jump
No,
ahead. Sorry.
no, you're fine when Winter enters the building. Because now I gotta say this, right, and I was a Winter fan the whole entire season, and I still am, but I gotta acknowledge the truth where it has to be acknowledged. Did she say some hypocritical things? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Because you came out as a relationship coach, right? Then you want to flip it and say now you're some spiritual or whatever it is that you're doing, right? And even though I don't like the way Ashley came at her, Ashley was correct. You don't want anybody to say anything about your ex-husband and the way he had 2 outside babies, one with the nanny or whatever the case may be. But on the flip side, you was okay, even though it was a little nay saying something about Ashley's husband. You called them DJ Fun Size. That is the father to her children, and her children are actually, they're younger than your kids are. Do you understand what I mean? So Winter played a role in it, but do I think they were overly aggressive? I absolutely do. And do I also think that it must be a little bit of smidgen of a truth to it, because Quick went from 0 to 100 in like 2.2 seconds. I mean, he was over there like a little kid, shaking his leg, couldn't wait to open his mouth to rip Winter to shreds. And although he wanted to say that he was calling the guy a B, I don't think initially he was. I think initially he was saying that to Winter. And because Chris was trying to save him, he changed it and said it was the guy. He wanted that guy to be called right now. He wanted them to FaceTime him. It went from 0 to 100 in like 2.2 seconds. Miss G said, yes, this went off the rails. I was shocked. But I was expecting something because Winter did a live before the reunion. And she pretty much said that it got ugly, it went down, it was disgusting. And yes, it was. And Monique is not even her friend, like not like a smidget of being her friend. Monique didn't even try to neutralize the situation. Monique is messy. Yes, somebody said they gained up on Winter. And Monique and you said Andy, you mean Carlos King allowed it. It was disappointing. No matter how I feel about you, I'm going to defend a woman for the simple fact that you are a woman. Yeah, Carlos didn't help either because he want the mess. He want the mess. So go ahead, Edie, what would you like to say about that?
So, listen, to me, Carlos is not the best host. I don't like Carlos's antics. To me, Andy, remember there was a season on Housewives where Kenya's, what was that man's name? I can't remember. He was a trainer and he got into it with Kim Phil's husband, and Andy kind of shut that down quick, like none of that. I don't like Carlos hosting the reunion, but in regards to Quick, I do believe there's truth to it. Whoever this man is that Ashley and Quick are referring to, clearly they know who the person is because Ashley said this toothless BITCA. So I'm assuming the man, he may be LGBT affiliate and he doesn't have any teeth apparently, if we're going by that. But it doesn't change the fact that Quick has been cheating. And what I do find strange about these men, how easily they disrespect their wives when the camera is watching. That would immediately deter me. I would get out of that marriage pronto. The way that Quick embarrassed Ashley at that finale, and even at this reunion, when Jamie said, well, she was messing with 3 guys, and one of them I knew. We didn't need to know that. We haven't talked about all the females you've been with, and you fell asleep at the red light. Come on, Diva, I felt so insulted, and I felt like Erana, I don't know if she's trying, hopefully she's planning an exit, but I just cannot imagine a woman just sitting there. Because that was his main thing. I feel like Erana paints me to be the villain, but he kind of did the same thing to her. It's like he's trying to one up her, make her look bad. Did you get that impression, Diva?
You know what? I was shocked at a lot of stuff, right? I mean, I think I couldn't breathe after he said he made her. And I did catch it when he said, listen, she was talking to 3 guys. One of them was my friend. I thought that was a little gutter low though for Erana to do that. He said one of them was a guy I knew was my friend, and he said I didn't want to hurt nobody. But I think because Erana, he felt like Erana was painting him to be probably who he really is. But he didn't appreciate her doing that on screen. He felt like he was going to let everybody know, listen, I'm not the only one that's messy in this relationship. She tried to throw out there that the reason why she did it was because of what he was doing. It was a response to what he was doing, but it fell underneath the table because he is much louder than she is. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And so it fell flat. YouTube IG, you know what's so funny? I'm pulling up our dress and everybody's saying that. I gotta take a picture because I promise y'all, off the screen, it's not that scandalous. But anyway, so yes, YouTube IG, what do you want to say about this whole scene with Quick, Winter, and everything that went on?
Okay, this is actually Aubrey, but that's just the first part of it. But that's okay. Now I just wanted to say that I think that too. Did you guys catch that? I feel like Erana, also maybe this is a little side note, that she's kind of with Jamie. She started off being with him because the first child she had was with a previous relationship before her and Jamie got together, right? She had a daughter, and I feel like in some way she feels like she's grateful to him that he thought enough of her to marry her with this child that wasn't biologically his. And then he's been in the stead as that daughter's father because the daughter seems to be the only one that's not really afraid of Jamie.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think sometimes a lot of, there's some women out there that feel like that. It's like, okay, I already had this child because, society wants to put this idea in your head that, you know what, you're used up, like you already have a kid who's going to want you, right? So
Hmm.
she probably was thinking like, okay, I had a daughter already, he still took me on, he married me, he loved me, he treated my daughter like his own, and also he paid off my credit card debt. She's feeling a lot of like, like indebted to him, so to speak. And
Yes.
No.
she, right, and she got so used to him being who he was. I think once she got on the show and it was kind of highlighted, she was like, she was more aware of it. But she's another one. I don't think that she will ever leave
Mm-mm.
Jamie. She won't. She won't.
No.
And you
No.
know what's funny? Their little TikToks are really cute together. And
Oh yeah.
maybe they went through their bad moment and they're on their way up. I don't know. But I do know this. Jamie is Jamie, and Jamie's not going to change.
As soon as he paid those credit card bills off, she should have got the hell on, because you will not hold me hostage to having a baby before I met you after you took that on. I wouldn't even want my child before to be in the same house as you, because Jamie is not emotionally stable. I don't like the way he talks to his own sons. And I know that it's different the way that the way that fathers and sons communicate. I understand it may not be soft all the time. I understand that tough love approach and preparing them for the world. I get that. But when you have a son that is getting ready to go to jail, and I think we're getting ready to see the sons on the second part this upcoming Saturday, but
Yes.
I don't believe that you don't kick a person when they're down, Diva. I'm sorry, you just don't. And I know you didn't say that. I'm just saying for the people you don't talk to people that way when they have their whole life. People know that people are not idiots. If somebody has made a mistake, they understand that they are facing time in prison. That is not the time for you to beat somebody up and talk to them the way that Jamie speaks to them.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way that he talks to that son who is blind. I don't like it. I don't like that they even try to push him onto getting women. That boy is not interested in getting no girls and this, that, and the third. That boy wants to go work for Apple. And what's wrong with that? Why isn't that sufficient? Stop trying to live vicariously through your children. And I think that's why the girl, she gets to talk to Jamie. To your point, I think you said your name was Aubrey. I love that name, by the way. The girl can do that
Thank
because
you.
she's not biologically his child, so she has more leeway. She can do what she want to do because she did what he wanted her to do, but she said she was unhappy. Everybody who lives under Jamie's rule is unhappy. Erana is unhappy. The daughter said, I went to college for this. I didn't even want to do that. She's unhappy. The son was unhappy, and now the other son is unhappy. Jamie has to go.
Well, you know what? So Oshina said Jamie can get help in understanding. He's not a bad person. I don't think that he's a bad person either. I think that he's so used to. I think even though I
Hmm.
wasn't totally in love with that when they went to that salt thing and the person that spoke to them, I think that Hilda, whatever, she tapped onto some good things in regards to Jamie, right? And how he feels and the way that he reacts to things. So I think Jamie, based upon whatever knowledge he had on, when he was growing up in his household, I think he's parenting the best way he knows how. I think that yes, he can definitely do better. In regards to the kids, I think sometimes, unfortunately, there's no book on parenting, right? And so I think what happens is you want your kids to do well. And when they seem to be lost and they don't have a way to go, you're like, well, you're going to study something. Want to try this? You want to try that? Because you kind of don't want them out there. I do want to know more about this story, right? Is his name Jason, the younger son? I hope I'm not making that up.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, what I don't understand, what I can't wrap my mind around is the fact that what was I going to say? The fact that he didn't have more skills taught to him in the schools when he was growing up. I don't get that. Like, why is it like now that he's just now getting able to go to a school where he's going to learn these skills where he should be able to live on his own? I don't understand why
Um,
it wasn't more of that.
Unfortunately, I think in our country, the educational system is still kind of behind, and there aren't a lot of special schools for, schools for special needs children like him. And then there's another thing. Now I saw this somewhere, it's secondhand, okay, but they
Mm,
claim that sometimes when you have parents, when they have a special needs child, they're kind of somewhat in denial with their head stuck under the sand. But
Mm.
supposedly this was the last year that the Tylers could get their son Jason into that special school, because the age cutoff is the age that their son is now. So they had like maybe 6 or 7 years that they could have applied for him to go to that school, but for whatever reason they kind of didn't. Is what my understanding, what I heard. So I don't know, but that's what I heard.
You know what? It could be true. I'm gonna tell you a story about that. But let me see. Diva, check out the old lady first panel. They interviewed Winter today, and she explained when she became spiritual and life coach. She can explain it. Thank you for that. And I'll go check it out. She can explain it, but the fact remains is though she did contradict herself,
She did.
on the show. Literally, we all heard it. Because that was what the argument was about when they was having a vegan dinner. She
Mm-hmm.
said that she was a relationship coach and she asked her husband all the right questions and he still bamboozled her. So when she made the transition, we're fine with that. But when you first came to us, Winter, you said that you was a relationship coach. Now let me tell you something about what you just said. I think you said that, right? Um, I do believe that people can be in denial. Now, I have a cousin who she's in her 30s now. I don't know. There's some type of syndrome she has. I don't even know what type, right? But I think that my cousin, because she's like my second cousin, because it's my cousin's daughter, right? Um, I think my cousin was in denial. It's hard to wrap your mind around it
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Yes.
And so to me, she probably could be further along if she was in the proper schools and stuff to train her, but she's not because she didn't go to the proper schools or whatever. And so I do think, yes, you can be in a little bit of denial, and and the denial, unfortunately, um it hurts your child more than it helps them, right? So
Right.
good question. But didn't Ray Charles go to school for the blind? See, that's what's confusing me, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
think it's more like E was saying, maybe because they was in a little bit of denial, and they really wasn't wrapping their mind around it. They didn't get him in the proper schools in the time periods that they could have. I'm leaning towards that. That yes, honestly, I believe they've been protecting him and was very particular. Yeah, I think we're all saying the same thing. They felt like they was protecting him, but and I don't know for sure that this was happened, with the Ray Charles, but in the movie, it broke his mother's heart. But she knew that if she would protect him and not let him go out there and learn how to take care of himself, that later on in life it was going to be to his detriment, right? So she pushed them like, you got to go to this school, you got to get out of here, you got to go learn how to take care of yourself, or else it's going to be worse for you, especially because you're not going to live forever and be able to protect your child forever. Most of these schools that specialize in teaching the blind at the young age are not in all regions. I can believe that. They have an awesome one in St. Augustine, Florida. My former BIL attended at age 9 through 16. Okay, so yeah, so you have to definitely do research. You have to have the resources, and maybe you may need the money also if the resources are not in the area in which you live. So I do get it. But we'll go back to Quicksilver. Um, he gets an F this episode. He gets an F because he definitely lost his stuff. He couldn't handle it. And to me, the amount of energy that he gave to Winter when she said it, I was like, guilty as charged. I
Mm-hmm.
really felt like he was guilty. And I said, okay, you could be, if somebody's lying on you, I would be mad. But he was like, no, he said, FaceTime this man. He said, call him. He kept calling him a B. He was angry. He was furious. We saw a whole nother side of him, and Ashley didn't help either.
I just really want to if I can say this real quick and then I'm going to go.
Yeah,
I think that, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that Quick, when he lost it and just turned almost like, and I hate to use this analogy, but kind of like a rabid dog, like you said, from 0 to 100 in 2.2 seconds. When
uh-huh.
he started off calling, and I do believe that he was calling Winter the B word. And then he caught himself with Chris and everything when Chris kind of told him to calm down and let your lady handle it. Everything's going to be okay. And then he tried to slide Quick and say, well, oh yeah, oh yeah, I was talking about the guy. Get the guy on the phone. I'm calling him the B. But that doesn't even make any sense. The guy wasn't on stage, so how are you calling him a B? Like, could he hear it like through osmosis or something, or
Right.
telepathy or something? I don't really get that. But I gotta go. But it's been nice. I hope I get a chance to come up and talk to you. I love your program.
Thank you so much. All right. Talk to you later. Yeah,
Take
Quick definitely messed up. It was disgusting to watch. And many people are saying that Jamie is he's feeling disappointed because of the direction that his children went, right? And listen, his son Jamie Jr., what I want to say about this is I do think I could be wrong, right? I do think we need to hear more of his story, right? When he veered off the road, so to speak. And listen, there's children that can live the best life and still veer off the world. There's children that live the worst life and never veer off the road. So sometimes it's not even about what the parent did or did not do. Sometimes it's just this child making the wrong decision and going the wrong way. I think, unfortunately, though, with Jamie Jr., because this is not his first offense, right? This is not his first time being in trouble. What is breaking my heart, which I think we're going to see, I hope it doesn't happen. I feel like he's definitely going to do time, and maybe we're not going to see it because maybe if they do another season, his court case would have happened while we're off season. But unfortunately, I'm really nervous. I feel like he's definitely going to do some time.
Well, sorry, can I say something?
Yes, of course.
We don't need to be nervous because if he did what he's been accused of, is he has to pay the consequences, and he has to go in there, and that'll be the lesson learned. But in regards to that disappointment, because I catch myself doing that also, and I know what that's like to can't wait for your child to arrive and to make all these plans for them, but you can't. And I heard someone tell me a long, long time ago, your child's life is their own gift. So we can want them to do, what we want them, but ultimately it's what makes them happy. It's the direction that they want to go. And you have to, and I'm not saying this to you, but I'm saying this to the comments, talking about Jamie. Jamie has to take himself out. Less Jamie, more children. It's not about you. And take out your disappointment, because if these kids are happy with the way their life has gone, doesn't matter how disappointed you are, even if you know they can do better, until they want better and until they do better for themselves, they are right where they are supposed to be until they decide to change. And you have to relinquish that. Just like you said, you can pour everything into a child. Sometimes giving a child everything ruins them. I mean, it's about balance. And so I don't blame necessarily parents for the way that children turn out, because it's a lot of factors that go into that. A lot of factors get that. But what doesn't help is when you have a nuclear household with a mother and a father, and it's basically you have a mother without a voice and a father who has too much of a voice. That's an imbalance there. And I definitely, from what we've seen outside of those TikToks that Jamie and Erana want to pull the Houdini trick over our eyes and show us, I definitely think that Jamie has been overbearing. And this is why his sons have a problem with communicating with him, because the youngest son, Jason, doesn't feel comfortable to express himself. And the oldest one, they go weeks or months without even speaking. They said that in the first 2 episodes, I think. So if you lived in the household with your child for 18 years at least, and they don't feel comfortable speaking with you as an adult, Something's wrong there. Something's
No,
wrong.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So Winter did admit that they edited that scene all the way. It was way worse than what they showed. So much it triggered her. I can believe that because like I said, the live she said afterwards last week before we saw the reunion, she said it was horrible. It was horrific. And she said that she really felt that men would have never spoke to her that way if she had a husband with her or if she had a man on the stage with her. And I do agree. I agree too that Quicksilver wouldn't have went that crazy if a man was on that stage with her. He lost his natural mind. And I can't believe they edited because Ashley really couldn't calm Quick down. Even Chris didn't really calm him down. He kept going. He wanted Carlos King to call this man. And what was you going to do with the FaceTime and the phone call? I don't know. It was crazy. So wait, did I miss this? So Jamie is an ex-police officer?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. He said it's going to be rough in prison because his father is a policeman. I didn't know that. I missed that if Jamie is an ex policeman. You can't always fault the child. Like you said, some do good, some do bad. But then again, some parents uphold their kids in their wrong.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's true. It's you know what? Parenting is one of the toughest jobs I think anybody could ever do. Like, even as a parent, you make mistakes. And you gotta say, you know what, to your kid, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, or whatever the case may be. You gotta humble yourself. And I'm sure it is really rough and disappointing and disheartening that, his son is in this position. And maybe in some way, shape, or form, Jamie, even though he may not be admitting it on the screen, he may feel kind of responsible for the fact that his child is in this particular situation. Some of the crimes, I want to say, Lee, that some of the crimes I believe are drug related. He was caught with guns. There's a lot of things. I mean, it was a lot of charges on that list, I believe. But in addition to that, I want to say, if I remember correctly, he was on probation already or something like that, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was already on probation and then he got in trouble again. That's why I was just like, oh, this is not looking good for him. Your child's burden become yours. Yeah. They don't live in isolation. Their action, it impacts the whole family. It does impact the whole family and they kind of don't understand that. But I also felt like, I think somebody said it the last recap that I did for Love and Marriage DC, that I felt like the son was medicated because he just seemed like when they was talking to him, when they was about to go to court, he just seemed like he wasn't there. He seemed
Yeah.
lost,
Mm-hmm.
right? He seemed lost. Oh, and Robin said yes, he was on vacation. Oh wait, okay, I know he's in the security business. Who Jamie is? Yeah, I don't know if Jamie is an ex-cop. If he is an ex-cop, I can kind of see the little attitude that he has too. And this is not me saying, because I have a lot of friends that are NYPD. This is not me saying that or like cops are bad or anything, but a lot of them do have that kind of cocky attitude, so to speak. And
Authoritative. Authoritative.
yeah, yes, you see, you know what I mean? Like I could picture him being a cop. Monique not necessarily. His son is charged in the suburbs and he's not clear. I don't know what that means. Their son knew exactly what he was doing. It's on him. He did. But you know what I think what happens with a lot of people, they get lost and they get caught up. Um, they get lost and they get caught up. And I do know, yeah, it's on him and it's a tough lesson that he's gonna learn. And I think because he was on probation already, he's listen, when all I can say is whatever sentence he get, if he gets one, like good luck. But I think
Oh,
that the courts this time, probably because he was already on probation, they're going to make an example out of him because sometimes people don't learn until they learn.
I think that with the same way we did the same thing with Will Smith, right? and does the crime fit the punishment? And I think the same thing goes into this Jamie situation, because it's like, the intent, what's going on with your life. When they were in that lawyer's office, I remember them saying, just, you want to make sure you let the judge know that you're doing good, you're working every day, you're on the right path, this, that, and the third. I do think that should hold some weight. I just don't think it should be excused because you are on television and people will see this. And I think it sends the wrong message to just give a slap on the wrist. But with that being said, and I know this is off topic, so I'll make it brief. Trump should get the book thrown at him. I mean, because with the black men, we are always very critical. And that's not to say that they should not be held accountable, but it should be even across the board. Do you get what I'm saying? Hopefully I phrased that right.
No, I do get what you're saying. So a lot of people are thinking that little Jamie was may have been high perhaps at the time. The root of little Jamie issue goes back to what he's not getting from his parents. He told his father he needed to hear him and tell him he loved him. Yeah, you know what? It's a lot of dynamics going on with that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Jamie's father wasn't in his life, if I'm remembering correctly. So there's a lot of dynamics. There's a lot of healing that needs to go on. But I will say this: I believe Jamie Sr., he was open to therapy, right? Because he was open to it. Because I want to say, after they went to that salt thing, the therapist came to them afterwards. And I think maybe perhaps the entire family needs to go to therapy on a regular basis. And a lot of healing needs to go on. And Erana needs to be able to use her words without Jamie telling her to shut up or, mind her business. And do I think, I'm going to be very honest with you, do I think when he turned her face and was trying to get her attention, do I think it was more than what it was? No. I felt like they was trying to make it more. Maybe I have to get more evidence to think differently, but I think literally he was trying to tell her, like, listen, we're here, let's have fun. Let this situation with Winter go. Now, this show, I will say, out of all the reality shows, the men are definitely more involved and more in tune in the ladies' business than we normally see. I mean, the early days of Roa, we did see the husbands get down with the get down, but this DC, the men seem to be in the mix a little bit more. And now, go ahead. Go ahead, Eve.
Yes, because and Chris is the messiest of them all. And when I saw Chris and Quick and who's the other, Jamie, go and meet with Winter's ex-husband or current husband and do all of that, I said, now look at these queens. I could not believe it, Diva. And I do have to say, they are involved. They want their peaches, so to speak. And I think that when Quick did that display going 0 to 100, all he did was make sure Winter comes back, because you can't have another season without Winter. And what it does is, I think Carlos wants this to be as big as Huntsville. And so those women who Winter spoke of, we will be hearing more about that. That's not going away. But when you say that the family needs therapy as far as the Tylers, I agree with that. The only thing is, what concerns me is, you said Jamie is open to going to therapy. I believe that to a certain degree, but I don't think Jamie likes hearing. I don't think Jamie likes what he sees when he has to see his reflection back to certain things, because he feels like it paints him in a negative way. Instead of owning that and apologizing, or saying, or even apologizing to himself. Sometimes our bad behavior is because we have not forgiven ourselves. It's not that, it's not that we need to apologize to others. Sometimes we need to apologize to ourselves in order to recognize ourselves as human. Maybe he's carrying around a big burden. So I think I'm gonna give my final judgment. I think that Oprah is responsible for this. If this is the OWN network, Iyanla Vanzant should have popped out and done the work. We didn't need Monique to bring her kooky friends on here. We needed Iyanla Vanzant. Don't you think, Diva?
We do. We do. Wait a minute. You know what? I forgot, JK. Jamie was raised by the father and the mother was not there. And maybe that's what he needed, the mother's side. And maybe his dad was just, as stern and as strict as he is. And, that's the only side that he got to see growing up. I do remember that. And I forgot what he said about his mother. I can't remember if the mother left and just never came back. I forgot that, he said that his father raised him and, he wasn't a mother. Oh, so Sin City said, yeah, it's a couple show. You're right. It is a couple show. But the men, okay, I guess because I'm so not used to the men being in it, I guess. And yeah, Quick slip was definitely showing. Quick showed his slip. Quick is messy boots to, like, the 10th power. But Carlos King is too, because Carlos King made sure that it was going to come out. He asked Winter, what does she know about the cheating rumors? Like, does she know something? Does she have receipts? Okay. So Carlos King made sure that came out, and he knew, he had them known that was going to trigger them. Come on now. He knew that was going to happen. Right. And he was covering his face with the thing. Like, I mean, come on, Carlos. If you're going to bring it up, at least try to half save her or pretend you're going to save her, because she's sitting on that stage by herself. Toria, you into the building. What's up? What do you want to add to this conversation? Can you hear me?
I love this show.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, my husband was asking me something.
Oh, okay, no problem.
That's okay. I love this show, and Quick, he is hiding something, and I think the women know what he's hiding already. I think his wife knows, and the other one, he's a bully. I don't like the way he talks to his wife. I don't like the way he puts his hands on his wife. And he tried to excuse what he did because he was just trying to get her attention and calm her down. No, you don't put your hands in my face and turn my face around and get me to look at you. You don't do that in public, let alone private. It's something about that man I don't like. I think he's a bully.
So a lot of people are not connecting with Jamie Senior. Y'all gotta let me know in the chat, like, how you're feeling about Jamie. Amy J, you have entered the building. What are your comments on this first part of the reunion?
I was very disgusted with Quick. Outside of I understood that there was a dialogue, and I watched it. And I mean, for the most part, I wasn't against the Silvers and them, stepping up and questioning Winters, her motives and how she was speaking with them or talking about them. I just didn't like how it ended on the cliffhanger with him cursing directly at Winter and pretending as if he was talking to this guy that they all know that is in a relationship or has some type of relationship with Winter. I didn't like that. And the thing is, I like the Silvers, but watching that let me see that maybe they're not the couple I want on the show. Because at first I was like, the Silvers are great. They should lead the cast. After watching that, no. You got to handle women with care, even if they are being disrespectful. It's just the way you handle things. It's the way you handle things. And I think Chris was the best example. He just let them know, you're talking to a lady. Don't, let's be mindful that at the end of the day, these cameras go off. We still have to deal with people in the public. And I just hated the way the Silvers wind up ending out in that first part.
Yeah, like I said, and I do believe it. Winter I was waiting for this reunion because Winter did a live after the finale show, and she said it was disgusting. And she said she would not come back if she was asked to come back for another season, not without having an ally, not without having somebody that, at least can protect her, so to speak. You see Monique threw her under the bus before they even started the reunion. So I knew that Monique wasn't going to be Team Winter. And she told Winter pretty much the reason why, everything popped off, you started it. And do I think
Monique messy ass didn't say, oh, I'm sorry, Diva.
that's okay. Yeah, she pretty much did, right? And she called him DJ Fun Size, and she said red light special, but I think that they blew that up to the 10th power, just so that they all can kind of have a storyline. Because if it wasn't for that, what was the storyline? There wasn't any other storyline.
It wasn't. Here's the
And
thing.
plus,
I think
they made up at the cabin. They all made up with Winter at the cabin and had that little kumbaya moment where they was singing her song that she was walking around singing. So I want to know really what happened between leaving that cabin to that finale for Winter to come there with all them receipts. I can't wait till next week.
I think
And,
I think
and
ultimately they all got together, watched it from their own, perspective. They probably don't even, to be honest with you, I don't think all of them like the edits, especially Monique. And at this point, they were hyped up to go in there and just really rip her down because she was the easiest target to do that to. Because everyone's attached to a man, everybody wants to stay in their couple bubbles, but she was just the easiest target. That's what I felt like.
but it's
And I
also
like the way Winter
really
switched
they're
up her
upset.
hairstyles. Did
Well,
everybody else like her hairstyles?
Who?
The way she switched her hairstyles up, Winter. I like the way she switched it up.
I didn't like
but
it.
I do think
Everybody
it's
can't
passive.
rock that. Everybody can't rock that bald side bald. Everybody can't rock that. She rocked it.
But here's the thing: I prefer Winter with the full hair. I don't particularly care for those hairstyles, the side hair, because it's kind of for younger women, and then more so it's a certain type of edgy person. She comes off as kind of debutante-ish, so it's just weird seeing her with her hair shaved off. I'm not saying she couldn't do it in any other capacity, but the way she presents herself, I prefer her with like a full scalp of hair, full head of hair. That's just me.
You know what, I'm gonna say this about Winter. She's another one. She's gorgeous because she done some of her lives without all her makeup on, so she's beautiful. And I just think that her reunion look, it didn't do anything for her. It didn't
Oh no, I
enhance.
didn't like that.
Yeah, it didn't enhance her beauty. I don't like the hair they gave her, the hairstyle they gave her. I did not like the dress. And like I said, with me even loving Winter, I think that she came to the reunion with the messiness. So although I think the Silvas were highly disrespectful, how could she not expect some heat when you're coming to a reunion and you're telling me that my man is cheating on me? And you're not only telling one couple, you're telling both couples. There's only 3 couples on that stage right now. And out of the 3, you telling 2 of them, I got receipts on your men.
I think Diva, I really think it comes down to they were all throwing mud. It's just that Winters was just more triggering. They were talking bad about her hair, her ex-husband. They were talking bad about her job. I mean, it comes to a certain point where you're going to start defending yourself and you can go low. And I think that's what Winter did. She went low, but she wasn't expecting them to go gutter. And I think that's kind of where she misread the group, because I think in a certain environment, she would probably do better. Like if she was with the Beverly Hills girls or the Atlanta girls, they're going to spar verbally and it's going to get kind of cruddy, kind of bad, but it's not going to go down all the way to like Love and Hip Hop. And I feel like with Erana and Ashley, I don't think they can necessarily spar with her verbally, so they just go really low, all the way down to like just curse words, have their husband step in. It got real nasty. And the thing is, I didn't see anything wrong with them verbally attacking her in the most respectful, but like it has to be something clever. I don't mind you being witty with your snapbacks and all the rest of that stuff. It got bad for me when they started, the men, when Quicksilver got into it and was threatening her, and no one on the stage saw nothing wrong with it.
Nobody. Unless we're going to see. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, we did. Home, we did. But unless we see next week that maybe Chris really jumps in even more, because I will say this, Chris was trying to stop Quick, but Quick, he was seeing red. Yeah. And even after Chris spoke to him, that's when he turned it and tried to say he wasn't talking about Winter, he was talking about the guy. And that's when he tried to say to Carlos King, call him, FaceTime him or whatever. But he know initially that he was talking about Winter.
I think they had every right to be upset and they had every right to confront her, but it is how you do it. I did not like what they did to her. And if they were as a man in the room to protect her, she would have been better off. That's all I'm saying.
I believe so too. Go ahead.
Me too, because and do you notice the first thing they know how to do is call her a B and stuff, because Winter's educated and she gets them with her, the way she speaks to them, that tears them up too. They don't like the way Winter speaks to them. Like, she does kind of speak condescending to them, but I love it. I love Winter.
Well, she knows how to remain calm in the most craziest situations. Because even when they were sitting there calling her a B and all of that, she didn't resort to cursing them out. She was like, really? Like, you calling me?
But that's the thing. If the right person was in the room, I don't particularly like how Winter condescendingly speaks to them and call them ghetto snipes and ghetto Barbies. It kind of comes off as classist. And I felt like the right person can call her out on that. But they're too busy trying to I don't know, this was really, really, really bad. And the thing is, I love the Silvers outside of this. They were good for the show until then. And I was like, if they're going to do that to her next season, don't bring her back.
Well, no, listen, I promise you, she said out of her own mouth, she will not come back without having somebody on her side. So I do believe, like everyone is saying, that scene was much worse. We could tell it was much worse, right? Because Quick lost it. And I almost believe that he stood up. Didn't he stand up?
Yes, they told him to get back down. They told him to sit down.
Yeah, they told him to sit down. So he lost his natural mind. And this woman is just saying words to you. And so my thing is, if you want to really act like it didn't, Ashley lost her mind too. I think Ashley knows what Quick was in those streets doing. But you know what? She chose to ignore it, and that's fine. That's your husband, that's your marriage, that's your life. You do what you want to do.
But I don't think anybody likes their relationship to be exploited on time. Right. Even if they do sign up for it. It seems like everybody's like, there is a line, don't cross it. But my thing is, it's kind of like, that's the discussion you have to make with the editors and stuff, because it seems like Carla's okay with destroying marriages. That's all I'm saying.
Right. You know what? Okay. You saying it right there, right? I will definitely say that. I get it. Carlos King is building his brand, right? I also get that Carlos King is in this silent fight with Andy Cohen. All right, fine, whatever. Yes. But you don't have to be in it and go solo that you're going to allow things like this to happen. I think 100%. Now, listen, Andy can go low too, but guess what? When Giselle was on that stage by herself with no man, Andy protected her to the point where he even put Candace's husband in between Giselle and Candace instead of directly behind Candace. And he also, even though he shouldn't have, he should have let her hold her own, he also didn't let Monique go but so far with her. Remember? He didn't even want to ask Giselle. He didn't want to ask Giselle about that phone number, but he knew he had to, or people would have went off with him. Okay. Remember when Monique said, I got his phone number, and she said it out, and he turned to Giselle and was like, is that, do you know that phone number? And she had to say yes. So I think Carlos could have at least said, you know what, Quick, I get it. You're upset, but you're going to calm down. I can't have you talking to Winter like that. No, but Carlos allowed everything to just play out because all he cares about is his ratings, making this show, and he doesn't care what happens after that. And I think that it is so true that the whole debacle between Portia, what's her name, Phaedra, and Candy that year, I think he was all in the mix of that.
Oh, yes.
That's what a lot of people were saying. I think he was all in the mix of that, and he didn't care. He'll do anything to produce a show. And I really think the only reason why Ariane is not on Love and Marriage Huntsville is because he know his key player, which is Melanie, would be gone.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why that chick is not on the show. And because
you talking about coleslaw.
Yeah, Kosa. I think because he tried to squeeze her in a little bit. Remember, he squeezed her in with
I did.
Martell made a phone call to her in the car one time. And I think there was another time it was some either phone or text or some situation with her. But I know Melanie was like, she's not having it, and I don't blame her. Right.
Do you
So
think
as
he's
far as
trying to? Do you
go ahead.
think he's trying to slide in uh, a loving marriage, Huntsville for I mean loving marriage, Atlanta? You think he's trying to slide in one of there with this thing with Sheree and Martell? You think Carlos King got something to do with that to try to put one of them groups there in
I think
Atlanta?
it's gonna be the next
Let,
couple.
Because
let me let me tell you.
Franchise.
that might knock Atlanta all the way out the door if he puts one there.
I don't know. Let me tell you something. I didn't get to do my video yet about Sheree and Martell, but I want Sheree to follow the yellow brick road. Okay. And when she get to the end, I want her to ask odds for a brain, a heart. Okay. And what else? And some courage. Is she kidding me right now? Like, come on. Like, you already been through tumultuous relationships. One with her husband, her ex-husband Bob, right? And then you got played out by Tyrone. And now you know for a fact that this man is problematic at best, okay? Because you've seen the history of how he treated his wife and how he still has this other girl out there that has his baby, Coastal, and she's losing her mind. She's losing her stuff, right? Because in her head, she really thought that when it was going to be over with him and Melody, it was going to be him and her. She can get before us and say any kind of nonsense that she wants to say, but she really thought it was going to be those two together. Who really sets themselves up to be the single parent of two and the two different dads, okay, on purpose, okay? Nobody does. She thought that man was going to be with her, and and she really thought. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Also, you know, also what it did with her, because with Ariana, which probably would make her more upset, he chose an older woman. A lot of Ariana's, like, you know, digs at Melanie was, I'm young and fit and something young. And now he's with an older, beautiful Black woman. So it kind of like negates her old spiel that she's just this young thing that took this older man from his old haggard wife.
Oh,
So
please.
it also says a lot about all of her critiques of male. It doesn't even matter at this point. He's with an older woman, and you can't even compete with this woman because she's like fire. What could you say?
Well, we can say a
If it
lot
wasn't
about
for Melanie, if it wasn't for his wife, he wouldn't have the businesses that he has because he ain't got very many brains.
But she always goes after the old card. Oh, I'm just a young fine thing, and I got him. And I'm like, yeah, but look, now he's dating a woman that's 50. So what does that say about your plus, you know, your pluses? Maybe.
well,
And Sheree is in good shape, boy. She looks good for 50. I'm sorry. People always want to crack on her thighs and say stuff. That girl's in shape. I
will say this because charade is not. We're not going to play this game. Charade played stupid on the Housewives. I wouldn't be surprised if Peter and Apollo was in her DMs, the way that they saw Tyrone swindle Sheree and had her sitting at that restaurant by herself. Every man who watched the show knows that if you get with Sheree, you're getting with a damn fool. Point blank, period. And Martell just wants to be able to send his 5 kids to Chateau Sheree on the weekends while he goes and parties and does whatever he wants to do. This is not a come up for Sheree. This is embarrassing for the women of Atlanta that you have $1 million something mansion that took you 28 seasons to build now. And you just now getting this clothing line off of the ground, and you're getting with this man who has 5 children under 10 years old, who has to pay child support and is a chronic cheater. Well, Sheree should be ashamed of herself. This is not about what can Ariane say now. She can say what she's been saying. These women are
Ariane always used that she was younger, and that was a part of his decision that he wanted a younger, beautiful woman over Melody. Like she was better because she was younger. I'm saying that it kind of just invalidates that claim if he's dating an older woman now. Like, I just think he's an awful individual. He runs.
I really don't think they're dating. I really don't. I think she was getting some business advice, and I think This is Carlos's way of sliding into Atlanta and giving us another show down in Atlanta.
I really
Because let's
appreciate that.
face it, Atlanta's, you don't know how long that show's going to be around.
Well, you
Bravo
know
is
what?
so confused and then got so much stuff going on. I listened to Andy yesterday and he is backpedaling about Jen Shaw, his apology to the world about her, and now that new lawsuit that Erica just got served with because Kyle's husband Mauricio is named in that lawsuit. Him
Mm.
and Kathy Hilton's husband. They're all named in that lawsuit because Kempire read the 45-page lawsuit last night, and they're all named in that. So now he's got to backpedal on what Erica and Kyle's husband's doing now, and Kathy's. So I don't know how much NBC Universal is going to put up with Andy and his protecting these women all the time because, like he said on his radio show, oh, you get to know these women, you sit with them and you like them and you want to believe them. I really believe Jen. I didn't think she was going to do this. Well, you keep taking up for Erica, and Erica's getting slammed every day with new lawsuits. Erica posed as another woman with a fake Italian passport and birth certificate. Her and Tom walked in Bank of America and posed as these people that own this bank account that was in a Merrill Lynch account that was in the Bank of America's bank. And they're all named in that suit. That man is going after Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Rick Hilton, Mauricio, and Erica Jane and Tom. That's a big lawsuit. $37 billion is gone. They took that money, and Erica and Tom walked in there with fake passports, fake Italian birth certificates because Tom was born in Italy, but his visa and all that stuff, and he might get extradited too because his stuff is all expired and he never renewed none of it.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. I think overall, even in spite of like all of these lawsuits that's coming about with these different housewives and all that, I think that the housewives shows period are just taking a turn. I think when reality TV first came on the scene, it was something different. It grabbed everybody in, but I think it's kind of running its course, right? And I think it's running its course because nothing is original now. Even if they fake stuff, is not original fake. It's just fake
Mm.
stuff recycled or over across the different shows. We're over the whole room situation. Every time they go on a trip, it's fighting over the rooms. We know that they're going to have a meal, and this is on any given one of these shows, right? We know that they're going to have a meal, and there's going to be some, disagreement or argument at the meal time. It's nothing new anymore. When it
Right,
first
right,
came on the scene, with Teresa in New Jersey, that was the first time we seen a situation where somebody flipped the table. Also, because there were family members on that show, there was a real lot authentic arguments and things happening, right? I think
right.
when they manufacture and they put people together who they want to put to us as friends, but they're not really friends, and then they break the fourth wall. So with Love and Marriage DC, Monique, when she was promoting it initially, she said that we were all friends. But now you want to come out and you want to say Winter was never your friend. You just met Erana and Ashley. So it makes things messy. It's like either y'all going to give us a show and not break the fourth wall, or y'all going to break the fourth wall, and that's why we're getting the ratings are not as high because everybody is feeling like it's just phoniness. It's just fraudulent and everything like that.
That's
So
Right.
that's why I think they're going downhill. It's not the same anymore. And I think it's all of them across the board. Because listen, there's not that many or any known criminals on ROA and they're still going downhill, right?
mm.
So that's why I'm saying I don't think it matters about the lies and the scandals that we're seeing. I think reality TV is getting old for us, and we need something different and new again. That's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you think, Amy J?
Honestly, like now, none of us would be talking right now. We'd be watching Beverly Hills when it came on, but we're not. I'm DVRing it. I'll watch it later because I'm going to watch Sisters first because that's my show, and then I'm gonna
Right,
watch All Queens Men with Eva in it. That's the show.
right.
I've been watching stuff like that now, and I even watched Judge Mathis Family Show, and I watched the whole Bobby Brown thing, which was actually good. And I didn't think it was going to be good, but it was good. And I watched
Mm,
that show Candy's on Shy. I watch other things because I watch The Housewives late at night when I'm done watching everything that I wanted to watch. Then I'll watch them, in the middle of the night sometime. But and then I fast forward through the parts that I really don't want to see because I'm tired of seeing them argue over something dumb.
Mm.
Well,
right.
I think that
Oh, and
the
Teresa
viewership
and
has
them,
gone
they're
down
in Ireland
because
and they're in Ireland taping now. So we might be having something new for New Jersey girls. They're all in Ireland.
Mm.
well, the viewership has gone down because, to your point, it is getting stale. But I'll
Mhm.
tell you the viewership that's going up, Zeus. Because if you're going to call something reality TV, then when people get angry, people start swinging. And I will tell you, Garcelle was very disappointing to me on Beverly Hills. Erica would not have spoken to my son that way, and I would have said I'll talk to her on the next girl trip. No, we're not leaving here until we handle this. Okay, the way that Candy handled that Phaedra incident, and she didn't swing on Phaedra. Listen, that's not. Candy is from Southside Atlanta. This is not how we conduct ourselves on the South Side. Those are fighting words in my neighborhood. This is stale, even on Basketball Wives. It's all rehearsed. It's all been exposed. We need something new, something exciting. And to your point, to the person who just spoke, talking about the shy, yes, P Valley is interesting. There are lots of scripted shows that are coming on where we're getting to see thespians and people getting to show how they can act. And I'm happy we're getting back to this. Let's get back to storytelling and not this
I
fabricated
love
sense of
P
reality.
Valley. Thank you for bringing that up. I love that show. I can't wait till next week.
Well,
Yes.
I have to catch up with. I have to watch that period. I only was because I listened to Gabor's reviews, and I'm like, I'm listening, Gabor, but I don't know nothing about P Valley. But it seems like it is a good show. And I will say this: the Bobby Brown little thing, it was a really cute show. I have a couple of episodes I have to catch up on. I think his wife is amazing because she's dealing with a lot. I mean, Bobby Brown. I don't know if many of you know he had a few heart attacks or a couple of heart attacks.
Yeah, yeah.
And in addition to that, his addiction got really, really bad. So God bless his wife. I mean, she is definitely a for thick or thin, for better or for worse type of wife. So
She
but the
saved
thing
him.
is, she saved him. But you know what the
Yes,
thing
she
is
did.
too? I think that we're so conditioned to the nonsense when a good reality show comes on, we don't watch it as much and don't talk about it because also the Judge Mathis show is really good. He's a really good father. I actually do love him. And he encouraged his son to be himself. And that's why I was like, okay, I really see a different side of Judge Mathis. Because sometimes when he did his judge show, he used to get on my nerves. I'm like, you so mean to these people. But when you see the real him and the way that he deals with and he interacts with his family, it's a really good show. So I
It
really
is.
think, isn't it right? I really think that this reality TV has really conditioned our minds in a not so good way. And then listen, I watch reality shows, obviously, right? Because I'm reviewing them, but I never forget, and it weighed on me a lot. This one motivational speaker said, "Garbage in, garbage out." She said, "Watch what you watch," and because it does impact you in some type of way. But for me, the reality TV shows, they're my outlet. Sometimes I just have fun watching them, but I really think that overall they have worn thin on everybody. I really
Yep.
feel that way.
And to the other caller about Zeus, I had Zeus, but every time I would be watching it, it would cut out on the good parts. Like I had it when the whole Jocelyn thing was going on, the cabarets and stuff. But I had to stop my subscription because it was off more than it was on. And I really was over the Bad Boys Club. I was over them. So I had to stop my Zeus. They need to get things together over there. Now I do like Chasing Reality, Georgia, Atlanta, LA. New season starts Thursday, and I'm going to be watching that. And the other one they have, Chasing Reality, I think it's in Dallas or Houston or something, one of them. But Zeus.
Hold on one second. Flip Virgo, yes. Yeah, when you watch Judge Mathis on his show, you do get a different perspective on him. I think it's a really cute family show. And I actually love his wife too. I think they're a great family. Diva, you going to review Bell Collective? I have not watched that.
You did?
I would really no. I would have to catch up on it. I haven't watched it. And then some
Well,
shows I don't. I'll let you talk 1 second. Some shows I don't review because it's like so many people, and I'm like, okay, am I going to be able to remember all of these different people involved? But I'll check it out. I'll on demand and see if I can get into it. Okay, so we're about to close out, guys. Again, I love y'all and thank you for stopping by. We're definitely going to do reunion part 2, but before somebody said Gunna Barbies. But before
let me tell you
yeah,
this one
yeah,
thing I forgot to
of
tell you
course I was
earlier.
gonna guess.
The lady that you interviewed, her book, I didn't catch you live, but I watched your replay. Oh, I love her, and I thought that was a wonderful interview. And I want you to do some more interviews like that because she was really fascinating. And I'm gonna get that book. I wrote it down so I can get that book, even though I've been with my man over 37 years, but I really liked her journey. I,
Yes.
it was a really good interview, and I wanted to tell you that you did a wonderful job with that.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I am going to be doing a lot of those interviews like that on Saturdays. I do have another one coming up. I'm probably not doing her this Saturday. Maybe wait, I'm confusing myself. No, I'm not going to be, maybe not this Saturday. I think the following Saturday I'm going to do that. And then I have a really great show scheduled for the second week in August. It's going to be my 10K party. I hope you'll all come through. I have a lot of stuff planned that's going to be really cool. But yes, I'm doing all my book reviews are going to be on Saturday. And I already have 2 more lined up. One girl, she actually had 2 children. Both of them were NICU babies, and she's going to kind of tell her story. So I'm glad you enjoyed that interview. But Saturday is going to be my day to interview different and interesting people. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. So thank you. So first, I'm gonna start with you, E. How do you want to close this reunion show out? What are your final thoughts?
I say this. The editing, we're going to have to get some real storylines up on DC and stop with all this bubblegum Powerpuff Girls storylines. Either Ashley, Quick, actually all of them. Either all of them bring it just as much as Winter brought it, or make them all friends of the show and bring on 3 new couples because I'm tired of this mess. And Monique, I'm disappointed in you. Coming from reality show royalty, Housewives franchise, you brought absolutely zilch to the season. I'm sick of your storyline. I'm sick of your not for lazy moms. And the best thing about you was your hair. I don't like the way you treat Chris, and I'm not going to be shy about it. Bring on 3 better couples, or they make them all bring it, or they don't get paid. Because Winter, she carried the show on her back. I know she's tired. So, thank you, Diva.
Thank you. And yes, she did carry the show on her back. And the best we got from Monique is aesthetically, her outside appearance is absolutely beautiful. The rest of it, we're like, Lorraine said, Diva, where's your 10K plaque from YouTube? They give you a 10K plaque. If they do, I didn't get one. But we're going
but you'll get one, don't worry.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a 10K party. So yes. So Toria, how do you want to close this reunion episode out?
Well, I can't wait till next week, and I agree with Eve. Monique didn't bring nothing but mess because she carried the mess. She kept going back telling stuff and telling it wrong. So I agree with that. If they don't bring after the next reunion, if they don't bring something to the table, get 3 new couples and let them all be friends. But I want you to watch the first season of Belt Collective, catch up on that. But
Okay.
know that the second season coming, some of them girls from the first season ain't gonna be on there. And
Okay. Okay.
I'm disappointed in that.
All right, so I'm gonna check it out and see if I can review that one. Okay, thank you, Toria. Amy J, how do you want to close this reunion episode out?
For the beginning episodes of the reunion, I think that they did a good job of, I guess recapping their season and discussing their disagreements. However, one of my biggest gripes with the franchise, since Monique says that that girl wasn't her friend, maybe next year, because you bring some real friends on the show and we can see how you really relate to your friends, seeing as though we know how you deal with people that are not your friends. Okay. And then on top of that, the other couples as well, Jamie and Erana, I hate to say it, I do like them as a couple, but I don't think they're a good fit for this franchise because privacy issues, her insecurity issues, they don't really want to delve in on it. And I'm not saying you have to tell me the world, but they just seem very uncomfortable on camera. So I kind of want to see somebody else. If you can bring in a different couple that maybe the Samuels are good friends with. I want real friendships to kind of develop a show around that. And that's what the whole franchise of Love and Marriage Huntsville was all about. These people really knew each other. And I think that's how we were able to relate to them. So although this is their first reunion, if they do come back, they got to do some switching up. And since this girl wasn't your friend Monique, bring real friends next time. That's
exactly. But the thing is, does she have real friends that she can bring to the show that will be willing to be on reality TV, especially that if they saw the way that she did her friend or associate of 15 years, Winter.
That's the thing I would have to ask her. Since this girl isn't your friend, where are your friends? Why won't they agree to be on television with you?
Right. And I wonder if at some point, but I didn't see them, they didn't have a fitting room. So I guess we're not going to hear from Tasha and Neil, right? That was his name?
No, they were supposed to be a couple, and I'm finding out they were just completely edited out of the whole season. I watched the Bondi Blues interview with Winter, and she said that the way she was brought, she was only supposed to do one episode, and that was her doing her podcast with Monique. After she did her talk, they asked her numerous times to do more episodes, and that's when they kind of made her a permanent friend of the show. But she was doing all that stuff, so therefore she gave them their storyline.
She sure did.
So all I'm saying is, if this isn't your friend and that was somebody you associated with for 15 years, can we get some of your real friends, Monique, who could actually talk to you with some sit? I hate to say it, talk to you and tell you real life, the truth. I don't like the way she treats her husband. I know that she said that we were not being, I guess, respectful at how she expressed herself, but I feel like you need some real friends to tell you the truth. You came off condescending, rude, and ungrateful this whole season. So I'm just trying to see that.
Yeah,
Chris gave her a good life. So she needs to appreciate that man, because they got several homes, not just one home. They got several homes. And he really treats her good. And I thought he was good with the kids actually when she went to work.
Check her. Is there no one to say, Monique, you're wrong in your life?
Yes, she needs somebody like that.
She need his mother to come back on so she can get that heifer together.
How about that? That would be awesome.
Her sister used to be a role with her, as her sister and her brother. So I'm like, where are these people? Where is your village that can tell you the truth? That's all.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think anybody can talk anything to Monique, because I think that's just the type of person that she is. And you can tell she literally really doesn't see the error of her ways. And I mean, the best she had for us is that her message to Chris still remains, and maybe she needs to work on her delivery. That told me that she was straight delusional. But you know what? So is he, because he was like, nah, ain't nothing wrong with Monique. It's all me. I'm going to fix myself. Well, good luck, Chris, because listen, nobody's perfect. we're all, even when we try to be perfect, you're still going to have some flaws. And it's when you love somebody, you know, unless it's just something that, I mean, they're just horrific. There's some flaws that you're going to have to deal with. You'll be like, okay, that's just dumb. And you let it go. But the more you praise a person, and especially your mate, trust me, they will naturally start to do the things that you want because you're praising them. I mean, she never tells us anything good about Chris whatsoever. And one thing I wouldn't do is, I'm not going to wait or do a reality show to point out the flaws in my husband. I'm not doing that. I'm not
Me
doing that.
neither.
Next season, bring your real friends. And next season, have somebody that can really tell you what it is. Because like I feel like Ashley and Erana feel a little, they don't want to say the truth. They're all kind of biting their tongues with each other. And that comes from they're not real friends. You don't feel like addressing somebody like the way everyone's saying Jamie is mistreating her. And then he speaks up and says something, but no one's going to tell him the truth because no one's his friend.
Well, Quick kind of did, right? Quick was like, oh, Quick actually,
he doesn't know him like that. How are you going to tell me on basically 2 seconds of me explaining myself? Why don't y'all have your friends on this show so you can have a real dialogue, real discussion? What's wrong with that?
Yeah. All right, guys, listen. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna do the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow night. I gotta go check it out. But again, like everybody said, I'm gonna see the replay. Okay. But that's what we doing now. That's what we doing these days. We seeing the replay. But I never forget at the beginning days of Roa, even though I could DVR, even though I could see it on demand, I'm telling you, at 8 o'clock Sunday night, don't talk to me because I was watching Roa. But now I don't feel that way about any one of the reality shows. It's like I'll see it when I see it, so to speak. But
And
thank
you know,
you guys for stopping
Giselle,
by. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, Giselle is running around bad mouthing Dubai on her podcast, telling people not to watch it.
Now, see, that's not right.
And I
That's not
think
right.
Andy should say something to her about that. If it would have been Candace, they would have checked Candace.
Yeah, they would
So I
have.
think that's wrong. He should say something to Giselle, telling us not to watch Dubai. She said it's
Yeah,
boring, don't watch it.
yeah. See,
But
that's
she
not
ain't
right.
watched but one episode.
Right, and listen, she lasted a long time on Real Housewives of Potomac because Andy loves her. Like why would you want to stop somebody else's money? Why would you do that? And
Diva,
these are
I
your
used to
own
go
fellow
to her
sisters.
husband's church. When she was first lady, I was sitting right behind them in church. And she was a B then. She didn't do first lady duties like other people do in the church. She was not the first lady type. She didn't have no prayer meetings and nothing. She didn't do nothing. You only seen her walk in there Sundays and walk out with them kids.
Listen. Well, listen, Jamal Bryan is a piece of work, but we ain't even gonna go down that road right now. So I'm not surprised that she was a piece of work as a first lady. But I will say this, guys. Thank you for stopping by. See you tomorrow night for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm sure we're gonna have a
Have
lot
a
to
good
talk
night,
about.
everybody.
Have a good
Bye,
night,
Sin.
everyone.
Bye, Curse. Bye, Eve. Bye, everybody.
Bye.